A 26-week US Treasury bill is currently paying over 5% annualized interest, backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. This is a pretty compelling interest rate, given that my own high-yield savings account is only paying me 2.95% APY. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 simple examples of how you can create T-bill ladders on TreasuryDirect.gov to collect interest payments every week. In this video, I'm not going to be covering the absolute basics of how to invest in Treasury bills. So if you're brand new to T-bills, be sure to watch this video that I made right here for beginners. A link is in the video description. In addition to these examples, I will also be showing you some of my own T-bill ladders that I have set up in my Treasury Direct account. All this right after. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Learn to invest like a wolf at your own risk. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Wolves of Investing. My name is Donnie Winton and I'm the founder of Wolves of Investing. If you're new, I talk about anything on my mind related to personal finance and investing. If you want to learn how to achieve financial freedom through investing, be sure to click on that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't yet. And please remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, as it truly helps out the channel. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so for our first example, and the easiest way to set up a Treasury bill ladder to collect weekly interest payments is to buy one 4-week T-bill every week for 4 weeks. The latest annualized yield on 4-week T-bills was 4.594%. The great thing about Treasury Direct is that you can purchase up to 2 months worth of Treasury bills at a time. Because of this, you can set up a 4-rung, 4-week T-bill ladder in one sitting in just a couple of minutes. Simply go to the Buy Direct page, click on Bills, and then click Submit. And you can see that the next 4-week T-bills are available for purchase. So you can just buy the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. And what I like to do is set it up for automatic reinvestments, which can be set up for 2 years at a time. So I set it up for 25 reinvestments, which adds up to 2 years. Then after 4 weeks, we'll start receiving interest payments from our first 4-week T-bill. And every week after that, we'll receive our interest payments from our other 4-week T-bills for the next 2 years. And of course, if we ever want to cancel the reinvestments, we can do that from the current holdings page at any time. Creating a ladder with 4-week T-bills is great for beginners because there's very little duration risk. Most beginning investors have enough patience to hold a T-bill for 4 weeks at a time. But once you get to 8 weeks and above, some beginners and even advanced investors can't stand having their money tied up for that long. The other great thing about using 4-week T-bills and even 8-week T-bills is that we can set it up in a matter of minutes on Treasury Direct, since we can purchase up to 2 months worth of T-bills at a time. Unlike the 13-week, 17-week, and 26-week T-bills, where we'd have to log in multiple times over the course of a few months to create a weekly T-bill ladder. So before we move on to the next example, let me show you the 4-week T-bill ladder that I have set up in my Treasury Direct account. As you can see here, I purchased these 4-week T-bills for $500 each. So basically, I have around $2,000 invested in this ladder. I set it up for 25 reinvestments, so I can just kick back and relax for the next 2 years while I collect interest payments from this ladder every week. As you can see from my current holdings page under Pending Purchases and Reinvestments, Treasury Direct is getting ready to automatically reinvest my 4-week T-bills for this ladder. And as I mentioned earlier, I can cancel these reinvestments at any time. I just started this ladder about 4 weeks ago, so I've only received 1 interest payment so far. I'm getting paid the interest from these 4-week T-bills every Tuesday in my bank account. As you can see here, my last payment was $1.75. The next Treasury bill ladder example I wanted to talk about to collect weekly interest payments is to buy 26 weeks worth of 26-week T-bills. The latest annualized yield on 26-week T-bills was 5.11%. Unlike the 4-week and the 8-week T-bill ladders, you can't set this up all in one sitting, but you can still buy 8 at a time. You just have to log in 8 weeks later to purchase 8 more weeks worth, then log in another 8 weeks later to purchase another 8, and then finally log in 2 weeks later to purchase your final 2 26-week T-bills. And as before, I like to max out my reinvestments, so I entered 3 reinvestments for these 26-week T-bills, which adds up to 2 years. The great thing about this 26-week T-bill ladder is the relatively high yield of 5.11% compared to the 4-week T-bill, which was 4.594%. The downside of creating a ladder with 26-week T-bills is the relatively high duration to maturity. You'd have to wait 26 weeks before collecting your first interest payment from this ladder. But after that, you'd be collecting interest every week. Before we move on to the next example, let me show you the T-bill ladder that I'm creating in my account using 26-week T-bills. As you can see, I'm buying $200 worth of 26-week T-bills every week. When the ladder is completed, I will be investing around $5,200 in it and collecting weekly interest payments from it for the next 2 years. The next example I wanted to talk about was to front load the 26-week T-bill ladder with the 4-week T-bill ladder. By doing this, we get the best of both worlds. We get the relatively higher interest rate from the 26-week T-bills, but we start collecting weekly income from the 4-week T-bills just after 4 weeks. Then after the 26-week T-bills start paying interest, we can cancel the 4-week ladder. And of course, we can choose one of the other T-bills to front load the 26-week ladder if we wanted to. It's just that the 4-week would be the simplest and easiest to combine it with. And for this last example, I wanted to talk about how we can combine 2 T-bill ladders to not only collect interest payments every week, but to actually collect interest payments twice a week on both Tuesdays and Thursdays. If we look at the tentative auction schedule available on Treasury Direct, which I'll leave a link to in the video description, we can see that the settlement date for the 4-week, 8-week, and 17-week T-bills is every Tuesday, whereas the settlement date for the 13-week and the 26-week T-bills is every Thursday. So if we combine a T-bill ladder using one of the T-bills that settles on Tuesday with the ladder using one of the T-bills that settles on Thursday, we'd be collecting interest payments every Tuesday and Thursday. The easiest way to do that would be to combine a 4-week T-bill ladder with a 13-week T-bill ladder. After both ladders kick in, we'd start collecting our twice-a-week interest payment. So those were just 4 examples of how to create T-bill ladders on Treasury Direct to collect weekly income. Let me know in the comments if you're using any of these methods and how it's going for you. And if you want to know how to create US Treasury ladders on a broker like Fidelity, be sure to watch this video next that I made right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.